Okay, so this video is for the department leaders and above. Anybody who is department head and above, this is the video to help with accountability. We just have our weekly meetings, and Dina is awesome enough to type these up as the person who's taking the notes, scribing, and really trying to capture her. She's doing so good. And anyone else that's in that meeting, she's going to send this out to each of us as leaders, and we can add things that maybe she missed, or that just that we need to make sure that we could really fully capture, or we can rephrase or rewrite so that it is more clear. So I love that we have right here. So for example, Dina, we've got the who on the one column, and then we have the what in the next column. So type up meeting minutes and share. So that was what she wanted to do as a what item. So this is Dina. This is the what item. What I want each of us to do as department heads, as leaders, is to then, or anybody on here that's the leadership. So we got Bruce, we've got Double A, we've got me, we've got Emily, Jaron. All of us that are on the leadership level, is we then take what's captured here, or we put in a little bit more for clarity, or a little additional things that need to be captured that we did talk about, or that are important to us that maybe we just didn't get to. And what we need to do then is we need to take the next step to apply these things. So this is the capture phase. We need to now make it applicable in our leadership reporting progress report, or whatever, right? To see that there's progress being made. So for example, Dina, we have this item here. We have type up meeting minutes and share. So what I would suggest as one of the first things that you do is you take each individual, takes and edits or creates an outcome statement for each of those items. So an outcome statement is taking it from a present tense and making it into a past tense. So instead of type up meeting minutes and share, we want to pretend like it's already done, right? So past tense would be typed up meeting minutes and shared with leadership. Okay, because that's specific. Shared with who? With your neighbor, right? So it's like you got to say shared with, that could to be specific. So that is a past tense. So as if we pretend that we're at the very end of the week, and we look back and we're like, okay, what was I so glad that I got done? I was so glad that I typed up meeting minutes and shared with the leadership team. So first you edit it so that it is a past tense, like an outcome. This is a result that we want to achieve, and it's a result because it has the past tense. And this is important because we're going to realize sometimes there's a big project that we need to break down even smaller to make it a little bit more manageable. The baby steps might need to be more the past tense items that we choose to put on our week instead of this large mammoth that we're going after forever. So anyways, we edit that. That's the first thing we do. Then what you're going to do is, I just shared with everybody this weekly progress. And this is the weekly progress that Bruce is going to help ask questions about. Like, how are we doing on Wednesday, for example? How are we doing at the end of the week, right? And everybody gets their little bit to say a little bit of something. This is what helps capture it visually so that we can see where we're at. So this Monday goals. So after Dina types these out, each of us individually is then responsible to show that level of accountability, to ownership to that bullet point, is to edit it and then put it on the Kanban. So the add to Kanban. So add to the weekly progress. See, specificity, progress, Kanban. So we got this weekly progress right here. Weekly progress, and let's pretend that I'm Dina and I'm like, okay, I edited it, so I'm going to put in this as an end result, and then I'm going to add my name right here. So you just, boom, done. And then what we want is we want that done by Friday. Okay? So we typed up meeting minutes and shared with the leadership. Now, this one, she just jumped right in. She's like, I'm going to spend the day and I'm going to really get this done. And I saw that she sent that. So that's awesome. So let's say that she put it in there. Then what the next step is then you assign yourself the task in Asana. If you just want to jump right in, and the reason I say assign in Asana, Mac is getting close to being battery empty. So the reason you want to assign yourself that task in Asana is because obviously you want to get paid for it, because Harvest is associated with Asana, and it's going to be the thing that's tracking that progress. There we go, plugged in. Okay, so then that's assigned. Now, let's say that she's making progress because she did. So she starts working on it. That's when it goes in progress. Okay? And let's say that she's just gung-ho, like she's just awesome like she was today, and she's just going to get this thing done because it's Monday and she knows that we all need to have clarity so that we can see what's going on for the week. So is she on track to having that done by Wednesday? That's just the question that this column asks, because usually these are kind of weekly, are we on track for this week to have this done this week? And if it's something that's like a month-long goal, then we need to break it down even deeper, right? So for example, if we were to look in, let's see, start on partitioned rooms. So that, for example, for Bruce that's awesome. So it's basically happening. If he starts on it, so like, what's he specifically gonna? So what do we do? I don't know. That's a bad example, but anyways, I think if he comes back and starts on it this week, then great. But like what, finish. Let's see. I want to take a look. Submit. Here we go. So, let's see. Focus on. Here we go. This is a month-long project here. So, focus on voice. I mean, it might only be a week. I don't know. But let's say focus on voice of Amy's Eden Senior Care. Let's say that there's you need some stuff from the client, and you're not. This might be like a 2 or 3 week project. Well, then, like, what specifically? Completed first 2 brand voice documents. So, for example, complete. So that's something like, okay, I can get that done this week, right? So that we need to sometimes get even more specific, because if this is a weekly progress board, we need to break it down so that this focus on voice of Amy's Eden is not forever lingering on this in progress and never able to meet the Wednesday on track. Okay, so sometimes that's like, okay, we need to break this down even smaller to a little bit more bite size, because the goal is we want to get to this point where we can file this over to the done like Dina did. So she typed up the meeting minutes and shared it with the leadership team. So that's now in the done pile. So to show you some more here, okay, make a Loomsana for editing individual weekly meeting notes and adding to Miro Kanban for leadership progress reporting. So I'm going to edit this as the first step. So made a, so that's like, past tense, for editing individual, editing, that's fine. Editing individual weekly meeting notes and instead of and, then the next thing I'm going to do is added to Miro Kanban for leadership progress reporting. So, it's showing how to add it, right? So, it's a little bit silly to think of, present tense, past tense, present tense, past tense. But if you can try to get into like, is this a past tense? It's like, okay, was I able to achieve that thing? Oftentimes I'm going to find like, oh man, I need to break this into smaller steps. So anyway, so I'm going to go over here, Monday goal. So I'm going to add that new card. I'm going to put my name, so Aaron, and I'm going to finish that by Friday. So made a Loom sonnet, which I'm literally doing right now, for editing individual weekly meeting notes, and adding to Miro Kanban for leadership progress reporting. Because if I'm adding it here, it means I have accountability for it. So let's say Susie is the new leader of whatever department, and we just finished this weekly thing, and Dina spent all this time to type it up, but then Susie is like, doesn't add anything to this. That shows that she didn't review this weekly thing, right? And obviously, like, if she didn't review it, if she didn't add it, so we're not able to see progress. Like, is she on track for Wednesday? Well, I don't know, because she didn't even read it. So this is how we show that we've fine-combed what Dina has gone through and edited it. And so assisting in smoothing out deploy. So assisting in smoothing out deploy, what I would do is, so specifically, what I want to do is I want to send a deploy video that I was talking about. So deploy video. So I want to do that. So that is something that's important. So instead of send, that's a sent. So like, at what point can I say that that's actually been done, right? So I sent it to them. So I'm going to put that over here, and I'm going to create a new card, and I'm going to say I sent AA deploy video, and I'm going to assign that to myself, and I'm going to say I want to get that done. Also, all of these things basically by Friday, and so that's the next thing. So then the next thing after that, getting resources to AA on deploy. Okay, so that is probably what was referencing up here in terms of smoothing out that process. So maybe what I could do, so smoothing out the process. So let's see. So I think I could pretty much delete that other one, because this is literally how I'm going to help them smooth that out. Video to AA on writers. Video to AA on writers. Video to AA on writers. I'm trying to remember what that's even about. So I'll have to figure this out. Ask Dina, or ask team. And then I can put this in the deploy. Video to AA on writers. Now, if you're wanting to get clarification, since everybody was at the meeting, this is the easiest way. You come over here, support department. I have a question for leadership about our meeting today. I'm looking over bullet point notes and can't remember what this means that was captured. Can you please refresh my memory if you remember what this is? So then that, and then so I just sent that out to the team. That's support department for everybody who is in that team. I have a question for leadership. So if you have a question, you're like, I'm not sure what that bullet point is, don't just ask Dina just because she typed it out. Ask the team, because she might not remember. She might be like, oh, I captured it, but and in the moment maybe she remembers. But ask the whole team, because somebody could jump in and be like, oh, don't you remember you said this? I'm like, oh, okay, great. So jump back over. So those are the items on mine, and honestly, the biggest thing for me is to find that video. I'm not sure where it is, so I'm gonna have to dig around and find it. But that's mine. So if I were to continue on this, Jaron would then take his and make sure that he edits it in a way that's a past tense, that's an achievable outcome. If it's too big, breaks it down into a smaller step. So 10 plus articles ready to publish. Maybe he's like, I think I could. I don't know about this week, but I think this week I want to maybe get 6. So then right here, 6 articles ready to publish. So right here, wherever we can break it down into the next step, the contingency or whatever, just a smaller step, whatever step comes before that step, put it there that you think is like doable for that week. So if you see something that is a monthly thing, find a way to break it down into what is done that week. So for example, right here, focus on voice of Amy Z in senior care, but what specifically are you going to achieve? So that needs to be, instead of just focus generally there, it needs to be like, I'm going to complete this, right? So what I would like to invite each of us to do is to please read through Dina's notes, fine comb it. They're very, very good, very detailed, and I really love, I love these notes so much. Add to them anything that was on your mind. Add to them anything that you want to capture or that we missed. Even if it's on someone else's list, just go ahead and put it on the list. And then if it's under your name, like for example, mine doesn't have a whole lot, but maybe you guys thought of stuff that you want me to be doing or that to help assist you or whatever. Throw it on there, and maybe we can clarify in Slack. But just throw it on there if we talked about it in the meeting, and then take that personal accountability. If your name's by it, this is the weekly progress, and just put your Monday goals right in there. So as soon as you put them in there, we know that you've gone through the Monday, this Monday weekly meetings. We know that you've gone through it, and then you can go ahead and slide it down through, like, where's your progress? Okay, did I assign it to myself? I need to assign it to myself. So what I want to do is signed in Asana is then I'm going to open up my Asana. I'm going to come over and I'm going to, oops, that's my Loom. That's not Asana. So I'm going to open up my, so here's my Asana. Okay, and then I'm going to add a task for myself. And let's see, I am going to add a task. And I'm going to say I'm going to get this one done, and the task I'm going to add is called, it's basically this one, make a Loomsana for editing individual. You could just copy that exactly, and you can then put it in, and once you've put it in, right here, task name, and I've assigned myself, and I need a due date. I know this seems redundant, and this doesn't have to happen for every single task we ever talk about. It's just the big projects that we want to report on that are in the weekly progress. We want to capture in terms of like reportable stuff. We want to capture and have on a Kanban, so we could visually see where we're at. On Wednesday, we could see, is everybody on progress? So I just assigned it to myself. So I'm going to now show that I'm making progress. Boom. And then send AA deploy video. So I'm going to come over here to my Asana. I'm going to add a task. and I'm going to name it. It's assigned to me, and I'm going to add a due date by Friday. And actually, it's really wise to have internal due dates and external due dates. If I tell the team I want it done by Friday, then likely within my own due date for myself, I probably should shoot for Thursday. And that's good etiquette with our clients too. Our clients will have a separate due date than our internal due dates for our content creation and such. So anyways, I've just assigned myself on these, and I can now go to my weekly progress, and I can move this so that boom, boom, they're both assigned in Asana. Love it. And are they in progress? Well, this one is. So this one, because I'm doing Asana, literally in progress. And you know what? I feel comfortable at this point that come Wednesday, I can report that on Wednesday it's on track. So if I'm that comfortable, if I've already reached the Wednesday milestone even earlier, you can move it up to the Wednesday reportable here. And that's awesome. If people are ahead of schedule on projects, we can see that. Now, to clarify, this board is not a tasks list board. Don't put all of your tasks in here that you need to get done. These are group leadership priorities. You can break down all of the tasks, like for example, 10 plus articles ready to publish. There's a lot of micro tasks that go under and subtasks that go under getting this all done. That all can happen in Asana, right? But this is just a big picture priority of what goes in our of what to focus on. Really, these are just focus items, prioritized focus items. They're not tasks. The tasks occur within Asana, and the reason I want to say that they happen in Asana is because you want to be able to break it down. So, for example, let's look at this. Sent AA deploy video. I need to break that down because I don't know where it is, and I hope I can find it. So I want to look for the video and find it. So I need to find that video. Okay. So that's a task. This is an outcome that I want to achieve, like a project type thing. It could also be considered a task, but it has smaller tasks. You don't want to put all your smaller tasks in the weekly reporting because there's just going to be too many. You can have your own task lists. This is for the big picture, where we at with the stuff that we talk about as a group. Okay, so it's also one more thing that I want to say before being done with this. This is not a place necessarily to delegate to other people. The only people who can, because this is a board that shows personal accountability. If something's added and it has somebody's name on it, that means they have personally added that thing, and they have claimed ownership, and they are the ones that are going to report on it. Okay? So even though I know, let's say Emily's doing stuff, I'm not going to put her stuff in here because it doesn't show personal accountability. She's going to need to put it in there because she's going to say, I'm going to work on this, and I'm going to report on this on Wednesday. And I am putting this out there to be done with something by Friday. So let's be clear on that, because this is not a place to delegate. Delegating occurs in the meetings. It could also occur in Asana itself, right? I could assign something to somebody else to do, or it could occur in Slack. And that's what we were talking about. Like we've been assigning certain things, so like assigning AA, it's like, okay, AA, I really need you to please do this project and yada, 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 yada. So then if you can please do this thing and then create, or I want you to create this Loom Sauna or whatever, right? So that's going to be separately delegated within Slack or within our meeting, and then that's captured, and then you individually put it on the progress board. So this is weekly progress board, and and so that is what I would invite each of us to do as a leadership team, is to take those items and do the next steps to clarify these, what Dina did, and to put them in past tense. Add to it a little bit if you want to, and not all of these are items that are stuff that we want to necessarily report on. Like, for example, $5 per photo for writers this time is okay. That's a policy. A policy does not go on this progress board. Policy is something we talked about in the meeting. We agreed on it. Good, done. That's a policy. Also, something that is to be scheduled is going to be at the very bottom of Dina's list here. So topics to be scheduled right here. These are topics to be scheduled, and they're just going to be here. So planning as to when to start 10X as a first client. So we need to schedule a meeting to talk about that. A timeline, steps for sharing another 10X client after the 13th. And these are all the items and stuff. And then number 3, to be scheduled, plan specific days, enumerating all steps from the date of the onboarding to launching per campaign. So those are things to be scheduled. Jaren to focus on the voice of Amy's Eden Senior Care. So that's a scheduled item that's going to be done. AA shared calendars. See, that's something that could be scheduled, or if he knows how to do that and he's got a great method, then he can just add that to his if he wants to, or we can have a meeting on it. Personality meeting, so that's a scheduled meeting. So there's just I want to be clear that this notes thing, not all of these bullet points have to be added to our weekly progress. Some of them are policies that we've agreed on. Some of them are things to be scheduled. But anything that is something that we're like, okay, I'm agreeing to doing this thing, and I think we could do it by, we just need to break it down and somehow show the accountability to it by creating this on our weekly progress board. I really love that Dina is willing to do this, to capture this, and I would invite all of us to go through this on Mondays, add to it, edit it, whatever you need to do to make sure that that's accurate with our meeting, so we're all on the same page. And then take that personal accountability if there's something under your name, and I'll look over it again after you guys go through and edit. You might add some additional things that we talked about that you want from me for this week. And then take whatever is under your name and add it then to the weekly progress for the Monday goals. And then as soon as you can get it in Asana, get it in Asana. And then as soon as you start progress, put it in progress. And then as soon as it's on Wednesday, we can then report on how are we doing on Wednesday and get these all to the done column. So that's what I want to say. This is really exciting because as a leadership team, we're going to be able to see big picture progress on where we all at in terms of what we talked about with our weekly meetings. And then we can get back together on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we can all just open this up and we're all going to take a look at this visually. This is exciting. I am so happy you guys are the best team. We have good leaders, and I'm just so excited to be working with you guys. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I really appreciate everything. Thank you, Dina, for doing this. Thank you each individually. Thank you so much for taking these bullet points, editing them for personal ownership of that item, and owning that to put it on the progress bar. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Talk to you soon. As soon as you've watched this whole thing, please reply back in Slack that you have watched it and that you agree to it. Thanks. If your business is already at 2.5 million or more, we invite you to check out our 10x Accelerated program at 10xflowseo.com, where we can work together to help you reach 50 million or over 100 million per year. If you're not yet at the 2.5 million per year, then feel free to like and subscribe to help keep applying all this video knowledge, our entire playbooks designed to help you get to 2.5 million per year for free.